with Arien Gabriella. I hope you're doing amazing. Today, I wanted to, without further ado, give you my Breaking Free from Bondage Spell, which I personally did for myself over the 4th of July weekend, technically on July 3rd. I thought it was really interesting that I did mine on July 3rd, and then the 4th was a celebration. Especially for my heritage, there's a lot of debate around what does the 4th of July mean to someone who is descended from slaves. But for me, it was like a very powerful way to turn that holiday into my own Independence Day, because now I'm a big believer that your Independence Day is the day that you declare yourself free from toxicity, free from negativity, and free from any oppressive forces that are trying to go out of their way to try to turn you into their slave, essentially, and to siphon your energy. So what this spell is designed to do is designed to break that, and the effect will happen slowly over time. So essentially what's going to happen is, the day that you have the spell, hopefully you're feeling great. Don't be surprised if up to a month, it could be, I don't know the exact amount of time that it'll continue to work, but it does continue to have an effect. So right now I'm about a week out from the time that I cast my spell, and I find myself just very in and out, some low energy, tiredness, exhaustion, feeling down, feeling up, and then feeling down again. A lot of that is the residual from the spell. So don't be surprised if maybe you're not feeling so great emotionally. That's just part of the purging process. And so another thing that I wanted to talk about, just to make sure that there's no misunderstanding, is this spell is very much unique to me. I mean, Spirit personalized it for me, and I'm sharing it because I think it'll help a lot of people out there. It is a purging of especially toxic masculine energies from your body, from your energy field. And the reason why I did the focus on toxic masculinity is because in many ways, a lot of the issues that many of us have that we're facing, that we're really frustrated by, or that we feel burdened by, a lot of these energies have their roots in toxic masculinity. Positive, healthy masculinity is so necessary for men and women to carry. Masculine energy is protective, makes people and themselves feel safe. It provides a template for a nurturing of our passions, nurturing of our creativity. It is just a very firm, grounding energy that helps us feel empowered, secure, ready to tackle the world, confident, and excited. And another thing that the healthy masculine does is to go out of its way to protect, create boundaries, and to help create a sense of safety, security, and just a lack of criminality is the word. A lack of criminality, a lack of just a peacefulness really is what it is a peacefulness. So when you have a toxic masculine aspect that is out of balance, collectively or individually, it can manifest as bullying at an individual level. Any ism, racism, sexism, classism, all the isms have their roots in toxic masculinity. Relationship dynamics, things like power struggles in relationships, even just ghosting, all that crap, that's a toxic masculine energy. It's like a jostle for power, a jostle to try to one up. Toxic competitiveness, another toxic masculine energy. Another way that it can manifest is through any form of just unnatural predatory hierarchy. So our office spaces, the way that our modern structure is set up in these corporations where you have one at the top and many at the bottom, and the many at the bottom are just kind of siphoning, their energy is being siphoned to the top, to this entity, this business entity that doesn't have any need for sustenance, water, food like a human does, but all the energy is just kind of being taken. That's another expression of a toxic masculine aspect. Sexual abuse, that's another one that often has its origins in toxic masculinity. So that I'm telling you this so that you have a deeper understanding of what all you'll really be releasing as we go through it. So I'll be releasing the toxic masculine aspect from the divine feminine aspect, and in doing that, what I'm doing is I am freeing myself, but I am helping to free the collective as well from all the ways that the toxic masculine has just decimated our society. This spell will help you feel empowered. Okay. So the feelings of hopelessness, the feelings of like, oh, my world is falling apart, my country's falling apart, I have no idea what to do. That is a sign of disempowerment, is a disempowered energy. This spell is to help correct that as well. So hopefully by the time that you're done, you'll feel like over time, you may not immediately realize it, but over time, you'll be able to see like, okay, there is a way forward. All is not lost. Everything's going to be okay in my life and in the world, even as changes are going on around me and I don't understand totally what's going on, maybe I feel safe and secure and held by the divine. That is ultimately the expression of the divine masculine. So that is what this spell is designed to do. This is actually not the spell. This is another spell. It's here for ambiance. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of talk you through the grid that I made specifically for that spell. And then from there, I will go into the invocation, which I will say here with you. This is the grid that I was guided to create by spirit for my freedom from bondage spell. As you can see, I have expanded my lapis lazuli necklace. It's still representative of my womb and it's much bigger. Which I think is a metaphor for the expansion of the divine feminine within me and the expansion of, my creative abilities and my unification with the divine mother. So I have 2 necklaces instead of 1, but it still represents the womb. And it also kind of sort of takes the shape of a heart, which I also think is not a coincidence. I didn't plan it, but it's not a coincidence. As you can see here, I have an Ankh. So, if this is symbolizing a woman's womb, and the entrance of the Ankh here kind of symbolizes the vagina. But the Ankh obviously is a symbol of divine creation, the divine feminine. So the Ankh is in the center of my womb here. And then I have some crystals, some labradorite, some ruby zygote, and lapis lazuli at the entrance of the vagina, which is just special crystals that are unique to me and will help, I don't want to say push the energies, but magnify the energies of those particular crystals in my pelvic area, because this in many ways is for pelvic healing, but also for liberation of the divine feminine and liberation of any toxicity that I might be holding in my womb or that we as collective are holding within our womb. Please note that this seems like a very feminine thing, but the truth of the matter is that men have a divine feminine as well. Men don't have a literal womb like women, but men do have a divine feminine aspect, and that has been impacted by toxicity and toxic masculine energies, and is impacting them, their ability to live happily and successfully. So I believe that this is a spell that is relevant for both men and women, even though the symbols that I've created are very feminine, very unique to me. This is always just a template for you guys to use in your own spell work, so modify as needed. I have a quartz crystal here, a rose quartz, and another clear quartz here, and then a rose quartz and a rose quartz, symbolizing that love, pushing the energy into the vaginal area for healing. And then I have another big fat clear quartz here. That is my baby, my other baby, that kind of sits at the top for just a purification. I have 2 candles on either side representing ovaries. And then I was guided by spirit to have this here, this amethyst. This is actually 2 parts of the same crystal that broke. So I have my masculine kind of coming towards my feminine or my receptive here, the side that broke off, symbolizing the reunification of a healthy masculine and a healthy feminine. So that is essentially the setup. And I've been guided by spirit to put a black candle on top of my Ankh here that would symbolize the oppression of the toxic masculine energy, not in the sense of just patriarchy, but just in the sense of any toxicity cruelty, degradation of the feminine, any type of sexual violence, any of that toxic masculine energies that have been basically almost sitting and pressing on top of my divine feminine. This is represented by my womb and making it harder for her to flourish and feel safe. So I will add that black candle here. Please note that you do not, if you don't have all the materials necessary to do the spell, you can get creative or substitute as needed. I do have an Ankh in the spell. If you don't want to purchase an Ankh or don't have an Ankh, you can draw an Ankh. You can create an Ankh out of something else. If you don't want to use the exact same crystals that I use, you can use other crystals that resonate with you. I would at least have something that symbolizes the divine womb and something that symbolizes the portal of creation in the spell work as well, along with the candles. The most important part of a spell, in my opinion, is the invocation. You're not going to have any punch to the spell with no invocation. I uncharacteristically will go ahead and add the invocation to this video, which is something that I don't normally do. I usually don't include my invocations in my spell videos, but Spirit was, there's a lot of people struggling out here in these streets. So I just felt like I'll toss you a freebie. It would be helpful for you to do it. I highly suggest that you do the spell. If you don't, understand that a spell can be cast from words and intention alone. So these words I'm going to give you in the invocation are extremely powerful. It is very important that you say them. Especially if you're not going to do the spell, please say them at least 3 times. If you're going to the spell, I feel like once is enough. If you want to do more, that's fine. But if you really just aren't going to do the spell, please say, or the setup, please say the invocation at least 3 times and really mean what you say. So the way that you can mean what you say is to ensure that you are emboldened with the energy of freedom before you go into the invocation itself. So one thing that I did was that really Spirit was guiding me, but Spirit asked me to think about what it means to be completely free. Like, what does it mean to you to be completely free, and turn it into a sensual experience? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What is your day to day? If you are able to go through life doing everything completely the way that you wanted to do it, with giving absolutely no F's about what anybody else had to say. You didn't have to answer to anybody. You didn't have to wake up at a certain time. Like, what does that feel like? And just allow the feeling, which should be a feeling of freedom, liberation, empowerment, and a releasing of fear and anxiety and hopelessness, to just infuse your entire being, and just allow that process to take as long as it needs to take. And then from there, go into the invocation. And please modify the pronouns as needed. Again, I am a woman. I identify as a woman. My pronouns are she, hers, so some of this is, written from my perspective as a woman. If it doesn't work for you, if you're a man, or etc., just modify as needed. Whatever is necessary to make it feel real for you is what you need to do. Okay. So let me go ahead and, speak the invocation now. We'll do it together. You can find the invocation as well on my blog, ariengabriella.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. I've written it there if you want it in word format. Let's just take a minute together to just ensure that we have the energy of freedom imbued within us. So I'm going to take a second to just allow the energy of complete freedom and liberation to sink. I live my life the way I want to. I'm master of my reality. I do what I want to do, and I answer to no one. And now repeat after me. I am free. I am here as a divine being of light, and I declare myself free from all evil, bondage, and fear. I am free. I am strong. I am powerful. I am infinite. I am woman. I am free. No negative or deceptive energy has dominion over me. I am master of my reality, master of my kingdom. I take back my crown and declare myself queen. I am God. I am infinite. I am powerful. I am free. 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 So mote it be. So that is invocation. Yay. And without further ado, I will take you to the results of my spell that I did. Okay, and this is how the candle looks after it's lit. As you can see, we have some orbs that have joined us for the party. to the left side of the candle. That is always exciting, and it's always working really well when there's orbs flying around. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Basically, I covered it in my deep cell healing oil, put black salt on it, and also I was guided to put some rose petals in there and some yellow flower. I forgot the name of it. I'll try. It's like cardamom or so. I don't even know, but the energy emanating off of it was amazing. So I decided to just grab it and use some of that. So that is the mixture, and you can see that it is burning something nice, and I feel it in my body. Like I just feel the release. Oh yeah, it just feels so good to be free. But that's essentially the setup. Again, this is just a guide. So my males out there, please do what works for you. If you need to modify as needed, or if you feel guided to put other crystals, do so. This is just a template that can help you as you kind of work through your spell work on helping to heal your own divine feminine. I highly suggest you visit my website. I have a blog post, all lots of fun things on the website. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.